Okay, let's go to the West. Let's go to the West.
Same thing for the Western Conference. 2 of these 4. Thunder, Lakers, Jazz, Pelicans. Thunder in 9th, Lakers in 10th. You have the Jazz in the 11th seed, and then the Pelicans.
Lakers and Jazz.
Don't let Allie off the hook. Allie. No, don't let Allie off the hook.
You're not going to let me off the hook. You're not, because the Lakers deserve to be in. Absolutely.
Over the other 2, yeah.
No, talk about it. Talk about the Lakers' last 2 games, Allie.
It's been rough. It's been rough. I actually have struggled. It's been rough. The Houston thing, look, I even said it on my podcast and nobody cares, but
you have a podcast?
My podcast, my Instagram.
Yeah, I know. What
my
the
Instagram,
fuck?
I did a Q&A. I apologize.
Are you going solo on us, Beyonce?
That's some shit, man.
Look at you. Listen, I am not K. Michelle here. Come on now. Tell me.
This is what I love most about you guys.
What happened?
You actually let me off the hook. You say, don't let her off the hook, and then you let me because you continue to talk. Okay, I love it. No, say what you want about Anthony Davis and the injury. It's not fun right now, obviously. It's the unfortunate side of it, right? But I am someone who, and again, this is what I was talking about on my Instagram Live Q&A thing that I did. I am someone that had a stress reaction on all 5 metatarsals in college. I tore my plantar fascia, and it is about managing the stress of the injury.
What kind of shoes were you wearing? Reedles?
New Balance.
Okay, that's
freshman, sophomore year.
No offense, New Balance. They're a little different now, but you must have been running in bricks.
I just had plantar. My whole point saying this is like that aspect with Anthony Davis sucks. It sucks because you also have a team that's trying to come together with a lot of potential, but at this point of the season and the urgency in which they need to win, and then, oh, by the way, big fella's out, right?
Potential.
So this is hard. I think they've shown glimpses. I think they've shown that they once they get in, and we've heard a lot of people say, even on the national landscape, which is where you guys live, make your money right now, right? That they could create some noise. But when you lose to the Houstons, last team in the league, right? And you have your moments of just whether it's not coming out with the right energy and effort to start the game against the Mavericks, a team that is right in front of you. And then you have your kind of brain farts and your moments down the stretch. It's tough where you could have ultimately been and put yourself in a position to kind of control your destiny down the stretch. Yeah, that's tough. But I still believe that the Lakers have it in them. I said it. I'm confident that they have it in them. You get in that playing situation and they have an opportunity.
Okay.
So, yeah, I believe that the Lakers deserve to be in when you're talking about 2 of the 4 teams right there on the bubble in the Western Conference. Yes, I do.
Cool. I just want to see the Jazz. Like, they have players who have, you've seen the best version of themselves, the best version of themselves. And I appreciate that. And I think they need that young team, even if they get beat in the first round, that opportunity to taste the playoffs shows a lot for the fans, for the coach who's done his job all year. That's a tough job. Mm-hmm. Okay, get rid of Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley Jr., get rid of your 3 All-Stars. And then, oh, yeah, guess what? Let's develop a team where nobody has any expectations and you have a chance to make the playoffs. To me, that's awesome. And then number 2, and I went on a tangent last week about the Pelicans. Mm-hmm. I just don't, what is up? And there's going to be 1,000 excuses. There's going to be 1,000 things. Mm-hmm. Again, it's more disappointment. It's more that I'm hurt deep down inside. I wanted the Pelicans. I had the Pelicans all year being third based on their talent, based on what I saw. It didn't happen. It happens. Yeah. And then what was the other? OKC?
Yeah.
No. I like what they're doing, but I think I like what the Jazz are doing a little bit more. I think OKC is one more year away from being, 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah. They need like those guys to not be 21 and to be like 25.
Yeah, fair. Rich, are you back?
No, that team's going to be good. Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm kids saying goodnight. Fuck them kids.
What do you want to agree to disagree or no?
No, again, I apologize for the break. But when it comes to the Lakers, it's like you have to earn a playoff spot. You have to earn a playoff spot. I don't think anybody deserves anything in this sport. And like Allie, no one deserves an NCAA tournament berth. You earn an NCAA tournament berth. When I look at the Lakers, again, all the people, and again, when AD set out, and this is not a question of his injury, this is not a question of that. I fully defend. If you're hurt and they're managing you, it just sucks that you have to be managed in this manner. I get it. That doesn't. Yeah, but it sucks, and I'm not
I don't necessarily
going at
agree
AD.
with that.
I'm not
sorry, Rich, I don't want to interrupt you. You get
Go ahead.
managed the other 60 games so that when they need you to play a game versus the worst team in the NBA, that is a must. If y'all would have won that game, you would have been one game out.
But
Being
Channing,
one
but
game
Channing,
out,
it go ahead,
Richard,
go ahead.
being one game out of the playoffs is a lot different than being 2 games out with X amount of games to go, waiting for somebody to come back. It's going to take a time for them to get used to playing with Bron. They haven't played with him that much. What I'm saying is, as a player, as a team, you're supposed to take the games early on the season off so that these games at the end of the year are, hey, can you go or not? And we will manage this. You have to give yourself a chance to the playoffs. What's the purpose of managing for what? For a regular season?
Right.
You manage for the playoffs.
The one
But-
thing
but-
that
but-
they're
but
not
Chan, what if-
managing for the playoffs, though, they're managing his current injury, which didn't come at the start of the season. That's the only thing I can
That's what I
kind
was
of
gonna say.
clarify there. And I'm not a
Okay.
doctor by any means, but it's not managing Anthony Davis based off of his workload and totality of the regular season. It is simply because of the stress reaction that he has in his foot.
Right.
And right now, I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing is managing the stress. And the only answer that means you're moving in a positive and right direction is that he's healthy. And now, granted,
Yeah.
the only time that this is an actual issue is back-to-backs. And the Lakers do have one more on the season. They have a Jazz and a Clipper back-to-back. And it starts in
Ooh.
Utah. So, and that's in April. And so many people are still wondering at that time what position the Lakers are going to be in. And are you going to allow him to be cleared to play in a situation like that, right?
I mean,
So just to
what
clarify,
point do you
Hey,
get
listen,
desperate?
I just,
At
I
what
just, want,
point do
I
you
just
get
want to tell the medical. I just want to tell the medical staff, everyone out there. Typically, when new coaches and new GMs, right, you can protect the investment of the player. But let me break it down because the medical staffs, they're relatively new in this NBA space. Let's say in the last like 10 years, they've gained more power. When the team does not perform and players do not perform of the level that they are capable of, when new coaches and new GMs come in, they hire new medical staff. It's no different than a new GM coming in and saying, I want my coach. We've seen it with our brother Luke. Luke has gotten a job. And the second year, Mitch Kupchak was out, Vlade Divac was out, and the clock started ticking on Luke. We know this from a personal standpoint from watching the game. So all the medical staff is like, oh, well, they're not playing more than 37 minutes, and we got to manage this. Hey, bro, Lakers don't make the postseason a couple years in a row. You're going to be looking for a new job.
Mm.
That's just, and that doesn't mean that you should put players' health at risk to keep your job. But you have to understand is that your security is also tied to success. And right now, I think there's a little bit of like, there's a little bit of gap of like, oh, well, we're going to listen whatever the medical staff says, whatever the medical staff says, whatever the medical staff says. But then coaches are going to start getting fired because they're listening to the medical staff. And this is not about AD's injury. AD should be resting. I support that. If he's got a stress factor, he's a big fella. We know the conditions with the feet can get dicey. I'm not questioning that. But at the same point in time, I feel like there's this power that the medical staff has that I don't think they fully understand what the fuck is going on.